You are listening to Salty's Fight Talk, hosted by the big, sexy, stay frosty fight fans.
Welcome back, guys. This is the first podcast of Salty's Fight Talk. I'm here with Logan Tucker, who's got his first fight coming up in Bare Knuckle Fighting. It is going to be sick. It's on January 25th. He's in the studio with us today to kind of tell me about his personal life, tell the viewers about his personal life, what got him there, what's that tick in his brain that he just wants to stand in front of somebody and just beat him. That's what we want to hear about today. So, Logan, it's awesome to have you here today. I'm excited to talk with you about it. Let's get into it, dude.
Kason, Big Sexy, man. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even call myself out. The Big Sexy.
The Big Sexy.
On Salty's Fight Talk.
Let's go. Yeah, man. Super ready. I mean, a lot of preparation in this fight. I'm knocking this kid the fuck out. You know, it's this
That's what we want to hear
dog
about.
eat dog world. You know, I'm signed up, you know, to fight on the biggest platform, you know, for BKFC, the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
Yeah,
so,
and it's awesome. And for
Knucklemania,
those who don't know,
like biggest fight of the year. So it's no joke.
It's when he says this, it's true. Like Bare Knuckle Fighting, this is Knucklemania 5. This is a huge stage. This is bare knuckle. This is no gloves. They get to wrap their wrists to protect their wrists, but this is pure raw fighting. It's the closest thing you're going to really get to street fighting. I mean, and these guys go at it. Their goal is basically to knock each other's heads off. I mean, that's what you're going in there for. There is no, I can choke this guy out. I can put this guy in an arm bar. It's
No.
The knockout is the win. First guy to go down is that's who's taking it. So we're here. We want to hear about your stories, what brought you up. I really am interested in the fighter's mindset getting into this stuff. Like, how do you mentally prepare yourself? I know there's a lot of work in the training with your coaches, the sparring, the hours and hours you guys put into it, but I want to hear about that stuff, your mindset through it all, because I know it's probably a hard way to keep a little bit positive in there when you're beating yourself down like that. So we'll get into some of that stuff, but man, I'm happy that you're here. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this fight camp, things have been way different than any fight that I've ever had to prepare for in my life, and more than ready. I mean, I have a nutritionist, I have professional coaches, I have support back home. Like, there's the sponsors that I have. I mean, I can't even begin to name them all, but like just a lot of local support. Salty motherfuckers supporting me. This is huge.
We're
this
happy
podcast
to support.
is gonna
We love badass dudes.
blow up, man. I mean, I'm just glad to be here, but yeah. I guess to break it down to you for this fight camp, I've had a solid 6-week training camp. Started back home in Alabama. I was able to meet up with Harrison Aiken.
Shout out to Harrison.
Shout out Harrison Aiken. The headhunter. He just won Bare Knuckle 69 here in Atlanta.
Yep, which we were there for that. That was awesome. Incredible experience.
Crazy ass fight.
The dude he was fighting too was.
Oh yeah, he was not. He was. We actually just found out he fought on Bellator. Was a good scrappy guy. So, but yeah, and now I'm training with Kelly Davis, Harrison's coach, and they're kind of taking me in, showing me the ropes, literally.
Awesome.
So it's just been awesome. Like I said, I have a nutritionist. I'm making a little weight cut, to get there. I'm fighting at 175. So, but honestly, man, the hardest part is not the training. It's being away from home, and just having the mindset, that this is my one chance.
Absolutely.
This is.
And I kind of want to shed light on that because what I think a lot of people don't realize about athletes is they sacrifice a lot to follow that dream that they have, whether that be a fighter, really any kind of professional sport. I mean, you have to sacrifice a lot of family time, friends, all that normal day-to-day stuff that you used to do. You're putting in. I mean, how long have you been training for now?
All year.
All
I mean,
year.
this year I've been at it all year. I had my pro MMA fight this past summer. It didn't go as expected, but learned a lot. So bounced back, and picked up a beautiful girlfriend this past year. So she's really a lot behind the scenes that shout out to Caitlin.
Yeah,
she's
dude, I'll
awesome,
shout my
man.
wife out, dude. Lauren, she's my rock. So
Yeah.
I mean, they're supportive in anything that you do.
Yeah, for me, like I got little mini farm going on back at home. So I got 2 big old dogs, Cane Corsos, and man, I miss them too. But she's got chickens. She's feeding peacocks and 2 ducks. We got a 3-legged turtle that we found out in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, I think she misses me probably, and I know she's excited to experience the atmosphere at Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
Turn it into a slaughter fest.
Is she gonna watch? I saw a lot of wives at the last
Turn their
one.
head, yeah.
Yeah, they were kind of head turned. Like, was that him who landed that punch, or is that him on the ground?
She made it to the last fight, and I got choked out. She was there, so, but she's been with me, still by my side. So that was cool, Yeah. We never missed a stride. We're just parallel, keep going.
Perfect.
And it's not easy to parallel with people in life because we're all our own different people. But when you have someone that,
well, there's always that one person out there.
Yeah,
you're gonna find. So
for sure.
But yeah, man. So take me through a little bit, like when you're in these fight camps. It's multiple. I mean, it's weeks. I think you're in. What week are you in on this fight camp?
We're finishing up week 6.
Finishing up week 6.
Tomorrow will be maybe my last day of sparring, probably, and then next week's more nutrition.
Perfect. So when you're in these fight camps, I mean, you're coming in, and I've watched. UFC does their fight camps where it's live and stuff, and you get to watch these guys kind of progress more than when they even came in there.
Yeah.
You see a complete by the end of it. You're like, holy shit! Week 1, that dude was struggling.
Yeah.
Week 5, this dude looks like an absolute animal. He can take your head off.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you feel like in this fight camp that you're in right now? Do you feel you said you lost your first MMA fight, which is going to be a little bit different, I guess, on this end.
Oh yeah.
But do you feel more ready? Like, coaches gotten you there? You're more mentally set for this one. Like, what kind of goes on there? Through those camps as you progressed, you see that progression. What have you progressed more in over these last couple of weeks to get you ready for this fight?
My footwork. Yeah, I've really changed my game, boxing, stand up, and moving, and planting my feet at times when I'm trying to throw power punches, but being able to move still. It's a lot of, I guess, work on, I don't know, pivots and, rolls and defense too is what I've been trying to pick up during this fight camp, and, when you take those gloves off, a fist is, you can't get hit by it too many times.
Yeah, there's no padding there protecting you a little bit, which, I mean, those guys are still throwing some hammers, but
for sure.
You take the padding out, I mean, we heard it. And, like, to hear those fists, like, connect with a jawbone.
Way different.
Yeah.
Even to the body,
Yeah.
I took a body shot today, and I know even, and it still, it hurt, and it took the breath out of me, but even with a bare knuckle.
We didn't know going in, like, what to expect. We knew it was bare knuckle. Like, we knew it was going to be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I was super excited for it, but, man, first round with him, dude, he connected with a punch. And we're 60, 70 feet off. We're front row, but we're back off the ring. And I was like, holy shit. Like, that cracked through the stadium. And they just both were standing there. Like nothing had happened. Whereas any normal human would be on their knees like, holy shit, that hurt. So to hear that and just like, then round 2, they finally stopped their like little dancing around, testing each other out.
Yeah.
And round 2, they just started going, and it was just crack after crack, and I was like, this is insane. So like, a big question is, what do you guys do to prepare for that? I mean, what is kind of in that training that gets you? I know there's not much that can get you ready for it, but kind of take those shots and not back down at all. Just kind of keep rolling with it.
You gotta train for pain, I guess.
Train for pain.
Yeah, that's all you can do is just every workout that I have, every training session, I fucking hate it. Like, I've been throwing up. I'm bleeding fucking every day. Like, I hate it. It's like, that's how I'm preparing is this motherfucker can't throw nothing at me that
hasn't been thrown at
me this fight camp.
Yeah.
And that's very unfortunate for him that he's a little bitch.
Love to hear that.
You
Hear
know.
to hear first.
But
yeah, I mean, I've been watching you training through Harrison's story and stuff, and it's just like the funniest thing to me is, I don't know, maybe a week ago, it was cold and rainy. He had you out there running, and you're down on your knees on like it looks like a driveway or something.
yeah,
And
man.
Harrison just pans in, and he just hits it just with like, so you want to be a fighter, huh? And you're over there just like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm just not having a good time.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't look, but like that kind of brings me to that point that we talked about a little bit earlier is like people don't understand what you have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people's version of what a boxer or someone has to go through might just be like watching the Rocky movie. I mean, dude, you ain't running upstairs. I mean, you guys are fighting.
Yeah.
Almost every
yeah.
day. You guys are doing crazy shit to your body to get it prepared for this. It's not something easy. And then you're really kind of relying on, you have to do all of this while not working, and you're also having to rely on sponsors to keep you going and things of that nature. So there's a lot that goes into it. And that's what I want to shed light on is like what we've talked a little bit, you have to make those sacrifices. But I want to, we've talked about your fight camp. We've talked about, what's getting you there, but kind of want to go into what was it the day that you just decided, hey, this is what I want to do?
Man, I mean,
on the spot question. You're good.
Yeah. I guess just the growth of BKFC. I mean, it's just skyrocketed.
It's fastest growing combat.
Yeah,
right now.
And they've been saying that for the past 3 years, and it is true every single year.
It gets bigger.
It just keeps growing and growing, and now I'm fighting for Knucklemania. The biggest fight of the year. Like that's, I guess, man, I just prayed about it, and I just, I really just trained without fight news, just kept grinding, I guess when I made the decision, like when I decided I wanted to be a fighter, I don't know, I guess I feel like I've always kind of known, like,
you're a fighter.
I'm going to have to be a professional something, professional craft, and I was like, I can be a professional fighter.
Fighting is an incredible craft. I mean,
yeah,
it's an art. I mean,
yeah, really.
It's an art. There's the coolest thing that I think about it is like you're never, you can prepare yourself, but like both guys are true professionals on each side.
Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Is he's got just as much chance to knock me out as I do.
Yeah.
To knock him out. I hope he hits really hard.
Yeah.
And really hard because you can't knock me out. I mean, that's. Yeah.
That's hey.
Yeah.
That's what the spirit is, though. Like, I mean, you want to go in there, and I think that's big, and I've always loved the kind of the shit talking aspect of fighting.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing was watching like the I guess like the news day for UFC and stuff. And you got all your fighters up there, and it's like, oh, you can't fucking knock me out. You can't do this.
Yeah.
Like I've always loved that. But I mean that's the beauty of it. You go in there, and what I take from you on this is, he can't knock me out, but he's also probably on the other side saying he can't knock me out. So, but I'm for you.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna fucking knock him out. So,
yeah.
But the beauty of fighting is like both professionals, both good at your craft, your art.
At the end of the day, it's respect.
Yeah, it's a respect thing.
You know, he's risking his life. I'm risking my life. You know, and it's not a forgiving sport. You know, it's not. Even football players, they risk, you know, brain injuries and shit, you know, every time they say hut, you know, but when you're getting in there fighting somebody, it's, you know.
A different ball game, man. I mean.
Yeah, coach said today, shit, the worst part isn't dying. That ain't the worst thing that could happen. He said those motherfuckers, you get hit so hard, half your brain comes out, and then you got your wife wiping your fucking ass, and, you know, it's not, yeah.
Yeah,
no, I mean, nice.
Yeah, that's not a nice. I mean, honestly, I mean, you could get hit one time for the rest of your life. It's
yeah.
So that was a question I was gonna bring up. Like, do you think about that at all, or do you try to keep that just kind of back in the back?
Yeah, thinking about what?
Just like the things that could happen from fighting.
Every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna bullshit you. Yeah. I mean, it's every day.
But I mean,
because it's a risk, you know. But like, that's what life's about. Life's a risk, you know. It was every time the doctor cuts the umbilical cord when you come out of your mama's womb. You know, I feel like that's fucking risky as shit.
Yeah.
Who decided? You know, like, I don't know. You gotta just now you're on your own.
That's I mean, that's it's kind of how I look at it in anything in life. I mean, there's a risk to it.
Yeah.
But you never know until you do it. But I mean, don't want to hit that negative question, but just kind of those things that keep you guys, you know, grounded, centered around that.
Yeah.
Is there a risk? But I mean, that's what you're training for. Training not to get hit. Training.
Yeah. See, like, I've been working on head movement. You know, not staying on a line, and there's a center line.
Yeah.
And when you plant your feet, you know, you either need to be throwing and then moving, or, you know, getting ready to pat the hands, fucking smack their hands down, you know.
Yeah.
I've been learning a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, my camp, you know, it started, like I said, you know, I've been training, so.
Yeah. You've been at it for a few years, and but the cool thing is with you, you know, we were kind of talking about what got you to it, and you said bare knuckle fighting, you know, as you started to see it grow. Like, reason I took such an interest in it, it's cool that it's the fastest growing, and like, but they're letting guys like you come in and debut. Just I'm
some kid from Alabama.
You're some kid from Alabama, and I think that's so cool because there's a lot of people out there that are really good at something.
Yeah.
But you just can't get the light shined on you in a certain aspect. That goes across a lot of sports that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of like you go into the UFC and any of those things, or, you know, you got to go. It's not something you just. You know,
there's 10-0 professional MMA fighters that Dana White, I mean, can't get to.
Yeah.
And
he might never get to.
Yeah.
I mean, they might never see that big stage. So, like, what I think is cool about this is you guys are getting that stage.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get a chance to debut, you know, who you are, you're the fighter, build a fan base. You know, I never met Harrison, but we were just in that stadium, and
yeah,
like, that's our guy. He comes out in this hat that we're wearing right here. And I was like, he stepped in there and brawled it out till the end.
Got the win. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And winning is 100% everything.
Yeah.
If you're trying to fucking lose in life, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, you know, people say, you know, you're not, you know, you will lose sometimes in life, but it's about getting back up, doing it again.
Yeah.
And you already took that loss. You said that you lost that first MMA fight. So you kind of already feel that, and you don't want to go about that again.
No.
You're ready to take this dude's head off and show.
I got to show the world,
yeah,
you know, what the fuck I'm about.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a salty motherfucker.
Yeah, baby. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, I mean, you're in a huge arena, you know, downtown Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Is this their biggest event that they throw?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the biggest Bare Knuckle Fight of the year.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. So.
I don't know how the fight card is yet. I think I'm about number 2 is what it looks like.
Okay.
But yeah.
So if y'all are watching fight number 2, he's coming out in salty gear, so he's gonna be ready. Gear. He's got us behind him. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just it's incredible to see you guys get to do this. To see Harrison get to do it. One other thing that I think listeners want to know, and we talked a little bit about this before the podcast, was we want to hear your fight stories before the fighter.
But brought me up as a fighter, kind of?
Yeah, before the fighter.
Yeah.
Who was Logan Tucker in the backwoods Alabama in a bonfire?
In the parking lots.
Yeah, in the parking lots. I think people like to hear that stuff. So
yeah,
you got some stories.
Man, people from my hometown, I definitely wasn't scared of a fight. I was, a crazy kid. I like to have fun, and that was just a daredevil. But yeah, I never backed down from a fight ever. And yeah, I was telling you about first fight. Picked a dude up, slammed him, got the knife pulled out on me, and I was like, man, like street fighting is different. You gotta. Then I started, I guess, building up my street smarts. You start getting streetwise or something, But yeah, that wasn't the last time. The first or last time I had somebody end up pulling a knife on me. One night, one of my buddies, Tim, I was active duty in the Coast Guard at the time, and these are self-defense stories. So there's nothing wrong with defending yourself. I'm sure you have some self-defense stories where you've felt like you were in a vulnerable spot where you had to take care of business, and unfortunately, men aren't getting smacked and shit enough in the face because people are just disrespectful. Like, they think they can say whatever they want,
Especially in today's age.
Yeah,
no one really will say anything to them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, kids getting bullied and stuff growing up is not cool, Like, if somebody, tells you your shoes look retarded or something, I'm gonna fucking smack you in the face.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but, yeah, so I was gonna tell you about that, my buddy Tim. Oh, man. So, I was single at the time, and me and my buddy Tim, it was Halloween, we were like, we're gonna go find us some butt,
Yeah, absolutely.
So we go to this bar in Virginia Beach, and we're, macking on these girls, we're slamming around, and, like, we tell them actually it started raining, and we were on the outside part, so we all go inside. So then, like, everybody from the Halloween party's, like, downstairs inside this bar. Well, we're sitting there, chopping up with the girls, and having a good time. And I went up to go get another drink, passed by this guy, and I was like, what's up, man? Went to dab him up, and he's just, Bassmastered me. It was like, psh, like that,
Yeah, big tough guy.
Ed Bassmaster, yeah. He was like, psh. And I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna fuck with you. And he was like, you gonna what? You gonna what, motherfucker? And I was like, dude, you need to chill down. I was like, you need to calm out and, like, chill out. And he just kept barking, and then he went to the bathroom, and then I went back to the table, with my buddy and the girls, and he comes back out, and he's just standing there, arms crossed like that, and I was like,
he's about to start some shit.
I was like, I turned to the table, I said, I'm sorry for what's about to happen. Sure enough, as soon as I crossed my arms like that, I looked at him, gave him a shitty grin. He come puffing up over, motherfucker, you don't know who you're fucking with, like that. And then I stood up, and I saw it come from a mile away. He just goes, wow, throws a haymaker over the top, freaking duck down, bam, bam, punch him up. Dude. I'm like piecing him, pop, pop, pop. He bends over, and then I don't know. I think I slipped kind of, and I was getting back up off the ground, and he went to go throw a knee, like kick me in the face kind of as I was getting up, and I caught his leg. So when I caught his leg, dude, he was a big dude, and I picked him up, and I didn't know, but when I picked him up, I slammed him in the back of his head, hit this table, and gouged his head open, and I was pop, pieced him up, you know, dude, he was nothing. Like, and then I had this voice in my head. My dad always told me, hover and cover and look out for brother. And I don't know why, but it was like God was speaking that in my head. And I was like, his fucking homie. And I was like, my buddy Tim wasn't covering his ass. And I was like, next thing I know, I'm getting off the guy and fucking dude swinging over the top of me. Was going to punch me in the back of the head. I fucking rolled off of it, dude. Bop, 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 bop. I punched him 10 times. Bop, bop. Security guards finally come, tackle him. Nobody grabs me. Grab his arms down, dude. Bam! Over the top with and just boom, shattered his nose. He didn't drop. Tough motherfucker. He didn't drop. His homeboy was on the ground. I knew I needed to get the hell out of there. So I booked it to the door, and it was raining, pissing rain. I don't know where my buddy Tim's at the time. I think he was probably still, like, talking to the girls or something. But
he's just sitting there watching.
Yeah, he was probably just enjoying the show, you know. That wasn't the first time he saw me get into a scrap out there.
Tim just leaned over to the girl you were talking to. He's like, I don't even got to help.
Yeah.
Watch this shit. Watch this shit. He's about to beat the shit out of you.
Like I was saying, I was just defending myself, you know. Just, that guy was, I don't know what his problem was. You know, I said, all right, I'm going to fuck with you. And then I guess thought I was trying to fuck him or something. Fucking, I don't know. I didn't say that. Like, I don't know. But it escalated very quickly. And
as a bar fight does.
1v2, and I've walked out without a scrap on me. But getting back to the knife part, I don't know how he got in the bar with a knife, but so I was leaving out of the bar, and this girl was like, you're not leaving nowhere. It's raining. And I was like, get the fuck out of my way. I'm getting kicked out. She's like, oh, really? Oh, really? And then finally the securities caught up to me, and they were like, and I was like, she was like, oh, since she let me out. And like I said, it was pissing rain. There was a pizza joint right next door. So I ducked into it. My buddy Tim comes out. And he was like, dude, what the fuck, man? I was like, ha! Kick their ass, man. Like,
the adrenaline pumping.
Hyped up. So then we go, and I was like, we need to get the fuck out of here. So I parked up the block, you know, again, it's raining. And then as we're like, all right, I guess we're just going to have to go through the rain. And as we were walking out, they were finally escorting fat ass out of the bar and he was holding his head, and then he fucking pulls out a shank. And I was like, look at yourself. I was like, I fucked you. I was like, I didn't want nothing. Like, once you pull on a switch, I was like, sorry, motherfucker. And, you know, I was like, get out of here.
Well, you know you're getting your ass beat when someone's got to bring that out. You're no longer a tough guy anymore. You got to do something, you know. But yeah, I mean, that's
Tim saw me knock a motherfucker out cold. I thought I killed him one other night. It was self-defense because he hit him. He hit my buddy. We were walking down. We were leaving this bar, and we were coming on the corner of 21st Street. And these dudes, it felt like they were following us. And I was like, I told him, I was like, yo, you guys are following us, man. And they were like, oh, it's fucking LT. He's trying to fucking pick a fight again. No. I was like, they're fucking following us. Sure enough, we turn on the corner. I stop. They're in La La Land, not listening to me. They keep walking. Those guys fucking circled around, didn't fucking try to go around me. So then I was like, now we got a problem. So I was like, what's up? What's going on? Some fucking dude steps up. Wow. Over the top. Hits my buddy. Tim took it. I mean, Tim took it, man. Well, buddy, when he swung, turned back around, I mean...
You're there, there waiting.
I fucking crow hopped into it. Boom, caught him under the chin. And, dude, his feet came off the ground. And the back of his head hit the fucking concrete. And he just... Everyone stopped. They were just like... Nobody was fighting. You know, I said we could have had probably like, you know, there was three of us, probably like 3, maybe I think there might have been 4 of them, 3v4. You know, but dude, I hit him so hard. Everyone was like,
That just was the ending factor. Like, oh, maybe don't mess with this guy.
Yeah. So he was laying there, like I said. I don't know, like I was like, "Good night, motherfucker," you know, "Good night." And dude, we went up the road to the next bar, and I was like, "We gotta get." I'm like, fucking showed him our IDs, went upstairs, got in, just ducked off for an hour or so, and
the guy fighting you, I'm just gonna say, when Logan's adrenaline spikes a little bit, you might want to watch out.
Yeah,
he's heavy.
I wouldn't get too comfortable.
Yeah, he's coming heavy for you.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot to knock me out. You know, like I said, I hope he can display that. You know, I hope, you know, somebody can knock me out. You know, I feel like that'd be a good achievement for him. You know, that's what the game's about. You know, swing or get swung on. So,
absolutely. So we've talked about your stories. We got some good fight stories. He didn't even tell some of the better ones. We had to talk a little bit beforehand, but dude's just been natural bred. He told me a little bit about him and his dad growing up. You know, you guys would spar, and he taught you some stuff. So he's been around it, just like me and you know, the elder goat who's in here on the Salty MF podcast. We used to wrestle around, fight, do all that stuff growing up. So I think it's a good point. You brought it up earlier in the thing is, as a man, we need to be able to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, there's people with kids like myself. I have a daughter. I have a wife. That's something I constantly.
That's your everything.
I think about all the time, though, when we're out. Like, how, you know, what am I going to do in case something breaks out? I'm not going to run from it. No. I will die on this hill trying to defend them. So I think that's huge. And we've talked about your fight camp and how that's going. You know, is there anybody you want to you know, shout out, any of your coaches on this and give them
definitely
a little love?
Big shout out to Michael Bradford, my coach in Clanton. He's got his MMA academy there that I've been training at, Warrior MMA Academy. Him and Devin Scott. Devin's got he's got a pro fight coming up in February, I think. So he's in fight camp himself. I'm ready to, you know, get back there and, you know, after I take care of my business on January 25th and keep growing the gym and just grinding. Yeah, and big shout out to them back home and all my sponsors, Baugh Ford. They sponsored me for this fight, took care of my training camp, you know, fees and all that for coaches, and even helped out with some of my nutrition too.
Awesome.
And like I said, I have a nutritionist and meal plans from a local Peach Nutrition. She provided me meals for this last week of my fight camp. You know, I'm pretty active. You know, been training 2 days and got to eat right, but can't eat shit. So.
Well, I kind of last week on the podcast with my dad, I touched base on that, and we both did, because there's nothing more important to you guys than your sponsors. And you know, we kind of asked upon wherever you guys are coming from, but the local companies, like, you guys are so loyal. The one thing I notice about you guys is you're always tagging us, you're always tagging your sponsors. You know, you're promoting them just as much as we're promoting you. You know, we don't really have to worry. We know you guys are putting us, and we stand behind you. Yeah,
you know, I feel, you know, this is my first time meeting you and sitting down. And I feel like you're like my brother. Or something,
and I mean, that's how I look at you guys.
Family.
So, you know, I feel for you guys. I know, you know, I don't personally know what it's like to go through this training, but I can see it from looking.
I'm sure you've had pain in your life, so you know.
So I can feel it looking in, like, see what you guys have to go through. So, like, last week I spoke, I kind of called out all local businesses, all businesses really. Like, you guys are perfecting your craft, your art. You know, you are chasing a dream just like anyone else in this world. And that means there's times where you're not going to be away from work. But, like, to the local businesses out there, what I just talked on, I mean, these guys are some of the most loyal people you'll ever meet. They'll promote you. They'll take care of you if you take care of them, and they need that backing. And to see them walk out in your stuff, and go out there and fight it's pretty incredible. It actually gave me goosebumps at the first one to see, when Harrison walked out. He just had our hat on. We didn't have any shirts or anything for him yet, but to see him and our brand, our logo, and know that we were all sitting there for him. I mean, everything else that happened that night, we didn't give a shit about. I mean, we started having fun as people started knocking each other out, but we were there for our fighters, and they'll be there for your company. So I would like to ask, if you guys want to sponsor these guys, you can reach out to us. You can reach out to them. We'll kind of show you what we do for them, but really anything to support your guys' journey. So you can train for this stuff, and we can see you guys on the big stage. I want to see you in that main card fight one day.
Oh, yeah.
So
hopefully we can bring bare knuckle fighting back to Alabama. It's been a few years, but don't know if that's going to be this year, maybe next year. But when it happens, I would hope to see my face on the main card.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I'd love to see that.
Definitely would be there regardless. But I love fighting, and but yeah, on the sponsors, man, they've really just helped me out a lot this fight camp. I mean, I'm able to, miss out on work for 2 weeks. I still had a normal life. Still do live a very normal life. I work, 7 to 5, at Thomas Wool, and I'm using my vacation up right now, but they've helped me out in so many other ways, and they're actually also one of my sponsors. So my work is, a fun place for me. I make it fun. The guys there, they help the time go by, and we just work together and
that's
play with oil.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool thing. You guys are just everyday people. I mean, someone who walk past you in the street, not know that you're a fighter. But the support, is what builds you guys up to get you to that next level, to where, my goal, where I want to see you guys is top of the card. I want to see you up there as the main card fighter.
Yeah, my goal is to have the belt. I want to be a champion, man. So I think 175 is definitely a tough weight division. Harrison, he fights at 185. He's even talked about coming down, to fight at 175, and he's a big motherfucker. So, it's,
he's a tough.
Yeah, he's tough as shit.
I mean,
he's
dude
tough as fuck.
Yeah, but, I mean, I've watched you, too. I mean, just,
yeah.
I mean, you guys do not break. You just keep showing up. I mean, you keep going no matter what. So, but yeah, man, this is it's been awesome just getting here to sit with you today.
Oh yeah.
And, kind of get behind you, hear some stories about you, your fight camp. We called out your sponsors. But again, Logan is fighting in Bare Knucklemania V in Philadelphia, January 25th at the Wells Fargo Arena.
Y'all ain't gonna want to miss it.
Yeah, you are not gonna want to miss it, dude. He is what I've watched. I've followed his journey from the start. He's ready to kill somebody. I mean, he is absolutely ready to kill the guy across from him. And that's what we got from him. Our other fighters, when they first fight, and that's how it went down. So, I mean, I believe in what he says. He's ready to kill. So, but yeah, man, I do appreciate you coming in here today. Sit down with us. First podcast. Going to be the best guest.
Yeah.
No one can top
First one, keep them going, man.
Yeah, so we want to, listeners out there, follow Logan Tucker. You can hit your, your tag if you want, so they can follow along with your journey.
Yes.
And then
I think
definitely.
my Instagram is Logan Tucker 21.
Perfect. Then, of course, tell them how we can watch the fight.
Yeah, so it's going to be live streamed, DAZN network, and there's a lot of smart TV, like Fubo, like people probably have the BKFC app and don't even know they have it, or have DAZN as part of a subscription. They probably pay for it and they don't even know. But I don't know if it's going to be UFC Fight Pass or anything. But I'm assuming, obviously, they're going to want as many viewers as possible, whether it's pay-per-view or not. It shouldn't be more than $10 for the DAZN subscription, I think. But don't get me lying.
Hey, whatever it costs, if it's $100 to watch them, pay $100. You'll pay $100 for a UFC fight.
Yeah.
You're going to be a lot more entertained. I promise you, these dudes are knocking each other's heads off. They're
Straight
throwing
violence.
haymakers. It's beautiful.
Blood, violence.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're in it for the knockout, if that's what you like watching fight sports for.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to sit there and watch people play grab ass?
Yeah, I mean, I love the grapple and all that. I mean, trust me, I love UFC, but they sold me the first time I ever went to it when I saw blood fly, 20 feet across the ring, and the guy didn't even budge.
David Feldman, the owner, he freaking got hit with blood.
Yeah.
During Rivera's fight, like with what was the guy's name? Jacob Street or something? I don't know, but it was a guy hung in there all 5 rounds, and I mean Rivera was not taking it easy on him, and I mean was just
we watched eyes split, like eyebrows split open, all types, and they just
I think there was 2 doctor stoppages at least. I don't know.
And the last one, I think one of them was in the girls' fight. I think her face busted open.
Yeah, doctor stoppages, man, it's part of the game. It sucks, cuts, they're gonna happen.
Yeah.
As long as it does not get inside the eyeball. I mean, obviously you can't see.
Yeah.
He can fucking fight without seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, that knocks the whole field of vision out for you guys. That otherwise, it's not a good thing. You can't see what's going on. So, but dude, I appreciate you coming in here. We are live at the Mick Bastard Studio. God, that's my second last name. Can't even get it out. We're here with Logan Tucker. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And again, watch him January 25th. You can go to Bare Knuckle Fighting's website, I believe, too, and find the
fight card and the event it's on the app.
Follow along with his journey. He dropped his Instagram tags in here. These guys are putting it on the line, and as a fan, I respect everything that they do. It's super awesome, and it's really made me love the sport. And the reason I'm talking and started this new podcast is because I wanted people to come to it and see it.
Yeah.
I want to see sold out arenas for them, just like the UFC. So, man, I appreciate it. It's been an honor talking to you.
For sure.
And that's the first episode of Salty's Fight Talk with the big sexy Logan Tucker.